DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk about fighting fair. But before we do so, I'm going to remind you, I'm going to tell you how to get my book, The Mirror of Motivation, for free at the end of this video. Stay tuned. I'll tell you how to get a free physical copy of this book. So with all that said, oh yeah, one more thing. I want you to text me anytime during this video or after the vid. Tell me the most valuable insight you got from this video. My number is 305-384-6894. Now, fair fights. We all know what a fair fight is, right? And back in the days, I don't know how much they do it these days. Nowadays, people just hop to their social media. But back in the days, if two people had an issue, they would have a fair one. What we call a fair one was a straight up fist fight. And I don't mean you walk up to somebody and hit them and they didn't know you want to fight. I mean, let them know you want to fight. You want to fight, they want to fight. Y'all both put your hands up. You do what you got to do. We call that a fair fight. What I'm giving you here, and this is a metaphor. All right, so I don't mean this literally. Don't go out and hit anybody. They're probably going to snitch on you and call the cops these days. So don't do it. The violent days are over. But what I will, for the most part, I will tell you is that in life, you don't want a fair fight. Metaphorically speaking, again, I don't mean literally. You don't want a fair fight. Fair fight is when you and the other person both got the same opportunities, the same and equal level of skills, equal level of resources. Then we just battle it out and see who's better. All right, you don't want that. All right, for several reasons. Number one, that's a war of attrition. All right, it's strength against strength. Both of you are going to beat each other up so badly that both of you are going to be in worse shape when it's over, regardless of who wins. Even the person who wins is in worse shape for having gone through those battles. Any of you who remember, any of you who watch boxing, you remember when Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier fought. They personally disliked each other so much. They fought 3 times and they both beat the hell out of each other so much that after those 3 fights, both of them got worse. No matter who won, they both got worse after the 3 fights because they both beat each other so badly that it drained them. So then when they had to fight other people, they were actually in a worse state than they had been before they started fighting each other, regardless of who won those 3 fights. So you don't want to get in a fair fight. What you do want in life, well, let me tell you more why you don't want a fair fight. Another reason you don't want a fair fight, because then it's your skill against whomever else's skill. And listen, on any given day, you might lose. If you're taking your best skill against somebody else's best skill, they might be better than you that day. Somebody might be lucky one day. Maybe you're unlucky on a certain day. Maybe a certain day, certain circumstances just happen to not work in your favor, and it's close enough that you end up losing. So you don't want to get in a fair fight. Let me tell you what kind of fight you want to get in. You want to be in fights in life in which you have an ethical, unfair advantage. Let me tell you that 3-word phrase again. Keep this in mind. An ethical, unfair advantage. What does that mean? That means you have an advantage over other people that even when they give their best, you still got a head start on them. But you didn't cheat to get it. Now, you didn't violate anybody's rights. You didn't break the law. You didn't do anything immoral or unethical, but you just have an advantage that other people don't have. Therefore, you're in a position to win no matter what. Example. Let's say I'm at a basketball court and I say I'm going to play anybody who comes out here one-on-one. I'm 6'4". Now, everybody who comes out to play me one-on-one, none of them is taller than 5'7". All right, I have an ethical, unfair advantage. I didn't cheat to be taller than them, but I'm taller than them. I'm going to play against all these 5'7" guys. Even if I can't make a shot, I'm going to just back them down and make layups. Because what are they going to do to stop me? Or if I can't back them down, I'll just shoot turnarounds until I make one. And if they try to score on me, I'm going to just block their shot. Because I'm so much taller than them, I'm going to just beat them all day. That's an ethical, unfair advantage. I'm going to set myself up to win. I'm not going to play against a 6'10" guy because he might do the same thing to me. So I want to set myself up to win in those situations. In life, what does this mean? This means you want to put yourself in positions in whatever you do in life in which you have some unfair advantage that other people don't have, i.e., put yourself in a position where you have talents that other people don't have. So if you're a really good singer, all right, don't try to become a construction worker. All right, if you're an athlete and you're tall and long and have a slender body like me, you probably don't want to become a wrestler because your body's not built for that. Your body's built for doing something where you run and jump and use your reach and your length advantage, like basketball or running or tennis or volleyball. Those are the kind of sports that you're built for. You probably don't want to try to become an offensive lineman for the Chicago Bears. Your body's not built for that, even though you might have the heart for it. You might think you're good at it. Ethical, unfair advantages means putting yourself in a position where you have talent and abilities and attributes that other competitors do not have. Therefore, you have an advantage over them even before the game begins. That's what it means. So if you're a person who likes to speak, you're a good professional speaker or a good public speaker, and you have a good stage presence and you like being on camera, you should probably get on something like YouTube or do Zoom calls or do professional speaking. If you're a person who doesn't like people to be looking at you, you might want to do something like the radio or podcasting or be a writer. You're a person who likes to use the written word. You might want to become an author or be a journalist or something where you can write and express yourself through the keyboard. So put yourself in those positions where you can do the thing where people get to see you. If you're a person who feels like you look really good physically, you might want to become a model or an influencer. You want to make sure you build up your Instagram where people can see you all the time. But if you like to write and you don't really want people looking at you, you might want to go work for the New York Times where you can write all the time. Don't work for the New York Times. They lost their credibility. But go work for somewhere where you can write. Maybe start your own thing, whatever it's going to be. Start a Substack or your own blog or website, email list, whatever. But you get the point of what I'm saying here. Ethical unfair advantage means putting yourself in a position where you have advantages over other people just naturally. Your natural talents and your natural attributes put you ahead of other people. This is what smart people do. And if you look around in life, this is what they all do. You look at somebody like Floyd Mayweather, the boxer. Now, every fight he gets in, he's boxing against somebody. He can't control what kind of style each boxer has. But what does Floyd Mayweather do in a boxing match? Any of you who knows anything about boxing or any kind of martial arts, any kind of hand-to-hand combat, you know that the challenge, the chess match is always, how do I get the other fighter to conform to my style? So both fighters are trying to get the other guy to conform. So if Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather got in a boxing match, Mike's going to try to make it a slugfest and try to just punch out at least prime Mike Tyson. I'm not talking about fat Mike Tyson like who fought Roy Jones. I'm not talking about that fight. I'm talking about prime Mike Tyson. And prime Floyd, what he's going to do? He's going to try to keep the space and he's going to try to outpoint you. He's going to make you miss. Then he's going to counterpunch you. He's just going to outpoint you and be way more accurate. He's not going to try to knock you out for the most part, but he's just going to beat you because he's just a better scientific boxer, where Mike Tyson's is more of a just knock you out and just hunt you down. But each of them is trying to get the other guy to play his game, which gives them the advantage. If you get in a slug match with Mike Tyson, that's probably a bad idea because he's probably going to beat you. If you try to get in a boxing match and try to outpoint Floyd Mayweather, he's probably going to beat you because he's better at it, right? So you got to learn what games you have the advantage in. Same way Mike has the advantage in one thing, Floyd got the advantage in something else, you have the advantage in something in life. You need to know what it is and you need to play to your strengths. Where do you have the advantage? And that's where you should focus your energy, your time, your focus, your money, everything that you do in your life, because that's where you will stand out. So you do not want a fair fight in life. You want to give yourself an unfair advantage, but you got to think, where do I have this advantage? And that's where you focus at. So all that being said, claim your free copy of this book called The Mirror of Motivation by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. This book is the self-guide to self-discipline. In this book, I'm going to give you the frameworks to ask yourself the question, to answer the question, who do I need to be? Goes right along the lines of what I just talked about. Goes along the lines of everything I talked about. So get this book free by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. Just pay for the shipping. I pay for the book. My number, again, to text me. Let me know that you got the book and let me know the best insight you got from this video. My number is 305-384-6894. Once again, 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre all day.